today is the day when I was actually fired, but the thing is that boss did not have any choice. Actually, I was given two choices. One offer was even um, that they would not let other company know about my being fired, but that would reduce my income. No, I don't even know what she said for several days or day or whatever. I have no idea. It doesn't matter to me really. Uh, what matters to me basically is why is it I was fired. Okay, I was fired at the time being I'm still on a payroll, but I was fired because, well, basically because of identifying people. And if I wouldn't be fired, my boss could probably really get in trouble. On the following video you're about to see, I have identified a girl from my country by the name Simona. I will cut the top portion of the video so it will still stay confidential enough for her to keep privacy basically. What have I pointed out in this video? But this girl is just someone that wanted to help me no matter what. The first time obviously is that we met sometimes in 2008. I don't even think it was in 2010. I think it was in 2008. And what happened was a political thing. Someone in Slovenia, where I was brought by Borut Pahor. This basically you're talking about either from Sweden, Norway, or well, maybe even from the US. I don't think so. He wanted to date this girl. This is basically what happened. And I will not forget, I think the two set me up like this because it's like a rule that if I would look at a girl, if I would express interest in a girl when I was subjected to MKultra, they would basically pinpoint that girl and whatever would otherwise be, you could just wave goodbye. For instance, Andrea, the ex-nurse for the psychiatric hospital in Ljubljana. I have expressed interest in her. And before you know, boy, we found ourselves together in Moscow, in Kremlin, surrounded with the politicians, and it was like this, they were gonna lay the claws on her. Just like this. Just like this. Goodbye mom, goodbye dad, goodbye Slovenia, I'm no more whatever I was, what I wanted to be, whatever, bye-bye. You saw it on the table like a piece of chocolate over the counter in the store. Like this. And so what happened was, realizing the danger and not agreeing to this kind of practice, Slovenian government somehow have found her an individual from Slovenia whom she really did not have much time left. Either they would never allow her to marry me. Either marry him or goodbye Joe to Moscow. This is the way it's done in Eastern Europe. This is the way it's done in Eastern Europe. With Simona, however, the situation was that the individual who was interested in her, he would, I don't know, maybe there is a possibility that he eventually used me so he could get a hold of her. But I was actually told it was like a mutual consent that he would approach her, and through me basically she would find herself immediately in this circle of people that would no longer allow away. And so I was walking on the street with this individual, with this dude, and we would be passing a beautiful girl, and under MKultra it's like a mess. I mean, you're looking whatever the hell is interesting to you because you got nothing to live for, really. So you see a good-looking chick, you express interest in her. This is the way it is. Even car, a chick, a watch, whatever it is, something interesting. This is usually what you will express your interest in. And I can describe exact location. I can describe what the street looked like when I met her. Exact spot when I met her. And yeah, before you know, I heard immediately it was like, oh yeah, this and that. Bye bye. The next thing, she found herself in MKultra. But for the difference of many others, she insisted on helping me out somehow. Either way, she possibly could help me out. Since I have mentioned Andrea, one time in Russia, I think it was in Volgograd. Eva was from Volgograd, I think, right? A waitress. It's what I was told right here in Poland. Uh, he expressed interest in me uh, within a minute. My life was gone, basically. I already have told you the story about the Eva, what happened to Eva. She ended up right here in Poland, and later on even in Chechnya. This is the way it is. This is the way it's done in Europe. Eastern Europe is what I'm talking about. Simona, however, began to study Polish language because of this. And she found herself in Poland more often than what she would actually admit. We'll go over her recording. You're going to listen to this. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. This girl, I want to especially thank her because she sacrificed a lot of time, effort to help me out. This also is the only one and only Slovenian girl that eventually, Slovenian, who would come forward and like this would actually hand me over. No matter what, she was tearing herself apart to help me out. I'm gonna put it this way. This is the girl that put everything online, absolutely everything. And when I was inside of the psychiatric hospital, they would get me out of the psychiatric hospital, brought me here to Poland. She was involved in it. She was just instilling hope in me. She was just encouraging me always. She was positive. She was always trying to be humorous about things. Somehow things are gonna work out and this and that. Well, you're gonna hear me in one of the audio recordings about her. Also, I'm gonna release, I don't know, it was a day or 2 or 3 days earlier, before I have completely identified her. And she was pretty good. That audio recording that you're about to hear, she states that it was the Simona who called her from Novo Mesto right there next to me. Then she insists that her mom is from city Trebne, which is like 20 kilometers maybe away from the city where I am from. But I have pointed out that I met her actually in other region, Gorenska region, and in fact, she was so damn happy to confirm that account too. But that's going to be in the following audio recording, not in this one. She states, yes, Simona was in the school. There was a part of the life, part of the time when Simona was in the school in Gorenska region. So that I got it too. Now on this video recording here, I'm going to present you with, well, Skyping if you like. PMs, communicate with her over the Skype, and I ask her questions, and then I go and I video record this even for the price of being fired. That's what I'm saying, that boss did not have choice, okay? These people tolerated me as much as possible, but they don't really know if somebody's watching from somewhere, who is watching from where, what is going on, and so, you know, you're left without choice. This is actually breaking also the rule of the company that you would record screen. I did broke this rule. I'm not ashamed to tell this. I'm not, you know, what is true is true, but I have never ever taken any confidential information about absolutely anything. I strictly have stick with all the rules of Fujitsu, and I really appreciate this company. I'm very thankful to this company. These people have sacrificed for me big time. They helped me out. Throughout this company, I have obtained just so many proofs about my presence in Poland in the past. Outstanding company in my view. What is it in this video, a little short video about to see? Okay, what you're gonna see is it's all in Slovenian language. Yeah, it's in Slovenian language. This is how we communicate in Slovenian language. Number one, I'm gonna also release the audio afterwards, which Slovenian people can confirm this is factual stuff. Number one, what I did was I was suggesting the cheese from like area toward direction toward Maribor, but just like 20 kilometers from Ljubljana, just 20 kilometers from Ljubljana. Just this was in my head because we were in the center of Ljubljana. The thing is that I have actually even mentioned this location. I think I mentioned one on the audio you can hear. This BTC center, I did mention, yes, of course I did. But in my head it was just that it's a little further, like 20 kilometers away, because she drove me with a car. We were in Slovenia. This is about the H&M stores. This is a chain of the stores from Sweden, and she demonstrated us all the stores, no, all the stores, at least in Ljubljana and Celje region stores, H&M stores. And so there was a photo which a gentleman have taken today, presented to me. She did this to remind me of this MKultra. This is a gentleman who would take the photo in front of me and tell me, they show me where the store is, this and that. And I was completely motivated by that photo, and I was sure that this was the store. Then unfortunately, she showed me, see, this is a problem when you show too many stores. How the person is going to remember when drugged up what store he was shown what, you know. So that information takes me to the next city known as Celje. And on the map, on the Google map, you cannot even see anything about H&M stores in Velenje. But I remember this because I was in Velenje. And we were also in a place known as, I'm not even sure, but I think it's Terbolia, Terbolia exactly. But it's not Terbolia, it's like before that, and you come, it's like a road, and it's like a center, some kind of a center over there. And we would just go there and we would go out. And I have no idea if she has a family there or what the situation is, I don't know. Or was it, what was it? One day she's gonna tell what it is. And she also took us to a store toward Gorenska region. There was a store also H&M toward Gorenska region, for which, however, I have reminded myself because she told me, this is the store now they have closed. This is the store now they have closed. She was talking to me. So I am kind of assuming that I have no idea. Maybe she even worked in that store when in Slovenia, maybe she even worked in that store shortly or something like this. I have no idea what she had, but she was involved in these operations from the H&M. So you see, that somehow paid her off, this involvement in MKultra. All through, it was very hard for her. At one time, when I met her, this was like a very lean girl, and then she gained pounds. And they were talking to me in Poland that she's not tough and this and that. She is very tough. This is as tough as it gets. She's a brilliant girl, intelligent, smart. A real Slovenian girl she is, a trooper. I don't know what other to say other than thank you very much to her. I put my head down. You're my hero as far as Slovenia, because you're the only person who ever came forward to help me out. And you were persistent every time whenever you had a chance to get involved in this MKultra, and you did, and you helped me out big time. And most importantly, you gave me faith in my people, Slovenian people. That's nice, because brutal situation over there in Slovenia. What else can I say? And so this is one of the things. And the second thing I pointed out, I said, but Simona, I said, but there was this another store, H&M store over there in, again in Gorenska region, exactly as is written right there. And she said, yes, and I said, in this store is closed. If I remember properly, they closed down this store. And she said, yes. So this is already a second shot. Yeah, the first one might not be exactly an exact thing, but as you're about to hear recording, it's quite damn good. It's exactly in direction. The store is positioned from the central Ljubljana exactly in direction that was in my head. So just I might wander a little bit too far. In fact, in the area where I suggested for the first store, there is not even H&M store anywhere there. But I asked this anywhere because I work according to the memory. Understand? I'm not working according to somebody giving me information or whatever. I work according to the memory. I memorize places, I memorize people, the interior of the homes and so on, according to the memory, not to anything else here. This is what it is, it's a memory. And the best, that is a little bit comical really. I told her, Simona, but in 2013, Simona, you had some kind of funeral. And I'm sure on the other side of the computer that she was like, what kind of funeral, boy? I said maybe even in 2015, but I'm sure in 2013 it was. I said, then she writes me back. It's like, yes, yes, but it was not a funeral. It was my graduation year, and this is what I was brought with her also for graduation. I remember everybody when we parked the car. I can tell you where this was according to my memory. I remember basically not where this was, but where we parked the car, what it looked like where we parked the car. And boy, they dressed me up also. And we walked, and I was like, I had a feeling this is a funeral, boy. Well, I was thinking about, I'm gonna come to my own funeral sooner than later anyways. But, okay, it was not a funeral, it was her graduation. And so, boy, that is as good as it gets if you want to recognize somebody from MKultra. But the thing is that she's a sweetheart. She encouraged. If she wouldn't encourage, she really tested me for one thing. When you're about to hear the audio recording, it's going to be in the next video. You're going to realize that she put me to like complete utter limits. With that kind of stuff, but she recognized me as someone she knows from the past, and that is damn outstanding. It's outstanding, and I really want to thank you very much, Simona. That's all there is in this video. You can't dispute this kind of stuff. Nobody can say no to this, any of this stuff, any of my videos anyway. This is just so many proofs, too many proofs for someone to say.
Yes, modern is not working. I have to come here every day, just my friend come here to look for a solution. This tool is actually here I'm talking about. This is not even on the map. I can actually see it on the map. Supposedly this tool would be etc.
All right, Simona prepared the report. You see the last name is hidden from her, but this is for real. She prepared country specifications report on Slovenia, and here you can see it's about the COS store, concession store, located inside of HMN, the only store in Slovenia, such store. And so, yes, at the beginning, you already have heard me saying BTC Center, and then unfortunately, because of so many other locations we were at, things did go the wrong way. They did not go in the right direction. Yeah. She knows about the article is going to attract my attention because what happens is she did this article literally for me. Here I suggest that actually is in City Celje, and actually talking about city that I have mentioned and so on. And then she tells me that this is actually in BTC, and you can see it right there. And this is exactly what I have stated the first thing. However, she gives me the green light on Kran. In Kran, she said it was in Kulandia. There you go. You see? She tells me, no, I gave myself 5 out of 5 because it doesn't get any better than that. And you can also see another thing. You can see in 2013 funeral. It was not a 2013 funeral. It was her graduation date where also she took me to her graduation. So I would definitely identify her. Yeah. And we will wish her the best with her marriage, which is coming next. I hope to attend that marriage. 100% identified, 100% identified. She is more than happy I did so. Okay, here it is. The name hidden, just as I have stated, to protect her identity. We meet on Skype. I ask questions in respect to country specification report, which was announced through Fujitsu site. Yeah, people helped me out. They did just as they promised they would. This came out as an article and definitely pertained to the market which I would service. That's Slovenia, one of the markets. And so I pick in it. I wanted to get to know what's all about, what I need to know in order to service people in Slovenia. It was specifically of my interest, quite several things, but the main one was the store right there, the concession store. You can see right there the number of the store. It's known as a COS concession store, located inside of the HMN store, the only store like this in Slovenia out of, I don't know, 11 stores or something like this. Okay, so this was my special interest, this store right here. This was the number one. And so I congratulated her. I said, man, this is a beautiful article you have written, Simona. This is a very nice article. And I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't please mind. It's all started with hello, hi, how are you, this and that. And she says, yeah, Boštjan, I have, she doesn't say Boštjan, but I have the first official article after 3 years. So it was published on Fujitsu, so Simona gained publicity, became a little public, and really was happy about this. You are interested in it, right? Is she saying? Yes, of course, you know I am. Especially you're interested in, she told me she's going to do the article especially for me, so I can identify this stuff. This girl was in it for one thing only, and that's basically to help. And I said, just give me one moment, please. And then I started with completely messed up information, pointing out in Celje, even Velenia, and that's because she took me around this and that with another person.
And she says, COS store? No. Like Valenia said, it's like far. It's like 50, 60 kilometers. Then I come up with something even more stupid, and I say 25 kilometers outside of the Ljubljana. And I say Trbovlje. No, Trbovlje is not 25 kilometers. Trbovlje alone is far. But yeah, I was assuming, as you're about to hear from recording, about 20 kilometers from Ljubljana in direction of Celje. And she tells me it's located actually inside of the Emporium, and Emporium is located in the BTC. And she says, oh, well, I give myself a grade 1, the worst grade possible. 1 out of 5 is the worst one. I'm disappointed about this, especially I'm not sure if I did record it myself about BTC or not. This was just basically the first location I have stated. At the end of this, I'm going to give you the whole, actually separately, I'm going to give you the whole 8-hour audio so you can hear about what went on that day, so you can hear that the whole thing is completely, totally legitimate. It's nothing product of any kind of gimmick or anything like this. And she continues and tells me, they changed the address. If you go over, it already passed me by. They changed the address. I don't know why they changed the address from the store to another location, which is in the center of Ljubljana. And the next question I do is I ask her about, what about the store that was in direction of Kran? Did they close one down, Simona? Did they close one down already? There was a store like this and they closed one down, right? Tell me quickly. And she says, yes, it was such store. It was located in Kran in Kurlandia. And this is where Simona used to work actually. And in 2013, Simona told me, you can forget. She was quite hysterical. You can forget about this store now. It's too late now for you. They closed this store down. This is because you're not doing your job. You're not doing your stuff you're supposed to report and this and that. So all the work we did, it was for nothing. She was quite frustrated with me. It might have been actually even in 2010 maybe. I think in 2010 maybe even. I have no idea. But I remember this. She did work already back then. Like a student or whatever inside of that store. Then I give myself a 5. I said, oh man, this time I did. I hit 5 out of 5 for sure. And she says, yeah, I also talk to myself sometime in the third person. Ha ha ha. And I say, well, I do remind myself a little bit, Simona, right? And she says, yeah, a little bit you do. And I tell her, please tell me, who did you lost in 2013? Not in 2015, most likely in 2013. 2013, oh yeah, it was my graduation year. Okay, and this is the graduation she took me to. This is how much she committed herself to help me out. And I'm quite happy. Pleased it was not a funeral, for one thing, and hitting myself a little bit in the head. And the second thing is, well, this is yet another third hit, right? 100% hit. I tell her, yeah, I'd rather go to the matrimonies than to the funerals anyways. I tell her, and I hope that you will invite me, this and that. And she says, I'm not sure if something is going to come out of that. Let me close the conversation. What am I saying? It's probably the best to stop now. Someone could be watching us, basically, even from Japan, maybe boss or something like that. We're not supposed to do that. And everything went fine, everything went okay, and just as planned, once I pull the camera out to film this thing, my non-immediate boss shows up and see me filming this thing, and start like indirect talk with another boss that was at work on what I try to explain, that I did not steal any kind of confidential information, anything from Fujitsu or anything like this, but this was all in line, prepared to say goodbye to me. Just maybe 2 hours later, I'm told that my relationship with the Fujitsu as far as employment pretty much ended. So more about advice about my rights and given farewell basically, but friendly farewell. These people really helped me as much as they possibly could, and for that matter I'm really thankful to Fujitsu for this. This was actually really good stuff. Yeah. So there you have, these are 300% as much as somebody drugged up possibly could point out. I did it, and you can see this was actually filmed inside of the Fujitsu. Actually the monitor itself, as my Hungarian friend who was with me on training told me, the monitor itself, the way it is, it's only at Fujitsu like this. From this alone they can already identify whether it was in Fujitsu or not. Everything is 100% legitimate, accurate. Special thanks to H&M in Slovenia, which listed COS store at your address other than a real location. That's one of the things, and they did this for this specifically for this case. Second one I would like to thank is Fujitsu employees, young, vibrant people. A large team that is working at H&M in Poland. This crew consists of international people, people of all backgrounds, and also a lot of Polish people. For the most part, of course, Polish people, multilingual, young, vibrant people. Hopefully the future of this society, hopefully something that Eastern Europe is going to start to build on. Something that, let's just say, a hope for this country, for this part of the world. And another special thank you goes to Japan, and it goes to several people in Japan. One person I will name is a CEO of this company, and it goes above that to some other people. So these are actually really people that, in my view, in my eyes, they have dedicated myself to me to extend seen here. Without these people, I would not be capable to bring the case as far as I did. And they had a really hard job. They had to make it up everything that all the generations screwed up, everything that Warsaw screwed up, not necessarily even older generation. Everything they did wrong was placed in the end in the hands of, in my opinion, really innocent kids. These kids, I cannot really recall any kind of kids. Yeah, I kind of grew up with them. I'm older than what they are. I can actually not recall any kind of freakish, like completely insane stuff I have talked about on blog experiencing with them. I can recall a lot of good memories, a lot of tutoring stuff that actually helped me to go through to recognize them. There was some stupidities involved, like in everything, of course, but you're talking about young people, but these are, in my eyes, still, these are innocent people. These are young hope for this country that I'm not going to go and take, again, something they want to have, something they believe in away from them. I will not do this. I'll instead do exactly the opposite. So these are three I would like to thank to, and hope one day eventually will help to do something more positive for this world, I guess.
Get me the model is not working. I have to come here every day, just my time, come here to look for a solution.
This store is actually here I'm talking about. This is not even on the map. I can actually see it on the map. Supposedly this store would be can you better say, камни, круповица, держала. Actually Zagorje, Psavi, Trojan. Either Trojane or possibly even Valenia. Trojane, Valenia, Arabia. Trojane, Lucia, Trojane. Trojane, Zagorje, Psavi, Lucia. It's at least 20 kilometers from Ljubljana, and possibly even Valenia. This store is definitely not on the map, I believe.
Do you have extension for Kasha?
Yeah, Mario, he was looking for you, Mr. Aruna.
Oh, no, okay.
Did you get my message, by the way?
Yes. Yes.
Dzień dobry. Vedo se deve Valania, Australia, è un po' più d'Italia.